The VBS High's trial date has been set for the 12th of October in the Pretoria High Court. 14 suspects accused of looting 2 billion rand from VBS Mutual Bank appeared in court earlier. These include top Limpopo ANC officials. The accused face 188 charges of theft, fraud, money laundering, corruption and racketeering. eNCA's Govan Whittles was in court earlier.
It has already been postponed to the 12th of October. That's the date they're setting down for the trial to begin. But they weren't able to agree on those matters of common cause because of the number of the accused who have changed legal representatives. So the new lawyers and advocates have to be furnished with a docket and go through the facts, and they'll arrange a pre-trial conference virtually on email on those sets of common cause facts, and then they'll proceed with the trial on the 12th of October. But this has been interesting because in the dock we have the treasurer of the Limpopo ANC structure, Dan Moyane, who has maintained that he believes that his prosecution in the VBS matter is for political purposes, meant to scupper his political ambitions or his plans to lead the ANC's treasury department in Limpopo. And we know he hasn't stepped aside either, despite being charged. So he's been one of the contentious people in the dock, but others include Chifiwa Matodzi and those that we saw appearing at Palm Ridge. And it looks like they'll be going to trial on the 12th of October, but the changing of legal representatives has meant another delay. The state, of course, saying that it believes it's ready, although it won't say how many witnesses it plans to call or which witnesses it plans to call, as it's still busy with that.
Hikes in electricity tariffs and other basic municipal services mean the cost of living continues to rise. That's amidst a high unemployment rate, while others are struggling to make ends meet. At the same time, some residents say they are paying more for less. Let's speak now to Nthatisi Modingoane from the City of Johannesburg about their new utility costs. Nthatisi Modingoane, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday View on eNCA. Okay, July every year marks the month where the city's tariffs go up, and I guess all other services like electricity with Eskom as well going up. This past month of July, you were not left behind. You've increased your tariffs. How high, on average? How high have things gone by?
The electricity tariffs have increased as a cost from buying electricity from Eskom itself. So NERSA gave Eskom a rate, and as a buyer of bulk electricity as a municipality, we had to absorb that cost, which is about 14.9% this financial year. So, but as a city, we tried to at least caution the residents, because we could have gone up to above 15. But thinking that the financial situation currently doesn't allow for these kind of interest increases, we had to look at other ways of trying to reduce that tariff.
So the final impact on the Johannesburg ratepayer resident is how much?
The final impact is about 14.9. In the current financial year.
And that's putting everything together. That's putting everything together, or just electricity?
No, that's electricity on its own.
Okay, now let's look at the others. Let's look at the other elements. Let's look at waste removal, sewage, and stuff like that.
When we look at all the tariffs combined and we do an aggregate, we are sitting at about 6% in terms of the overall. But you must remember that the bigger ones had to be power and water, because these are passed on costs. We buy bulk water from Rand Water. Rand Water has its own tariffs. We buy bulk electricity from Eskom, and we have to pass that cost as well. So
yeah.
The refuse removal is way over, way under 4%, and we've tried to keep as many as possible, including property rates, under the inflation as much as possible.
And what inflation rate did you use? CPI currently is under 6%. It's way below 6%, which is what the Reserve Bank targets.
Yes, we use that CPI as the Reserve Bank dictates, and we've made sure that we reduce the rates as much as possible.
Is there anything else? Okay, you've explained that you've tried to not to increase everything too much, not to pass on to the consumer a lot. Anything else you are doing to assist the ratepayers of Johannesburg? Because times are tough. People have lost jobs, and many those people who are working, their salaries have been cut. It's tough.
Dan Moyane, what we did as part of the approving budget in May, we started a program that we called a debt rehabilitation program. That program was intended to try and help our customers to be able to bring their accounts up to date, those that are defaulting. And if you qualify for that program, you would even get a debt write-off of over 50% of what you owe the municipality. We opened it up, and we invited customers to apply for that debt rehabilitation. And the closing date was the 31st of July. Most residents applied, and most residents benefited.
Okay, hold on. Before you carry on, sorry, Dan Moyane. When you say most residents, I mean, how big is that number? Percentage-wise, in terms of the residents of, is it 90% of the residents applied, 80%?
No, it's not 90%, it's not 80%. We're looking at the residents that are, if you look at residents that are defaulting, because some residents still can afford, but we in the region of 65% of those that were in the defaults in the
okay. And how many Joburg residents are defaulting percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise, we're collecting now in the region of about over 90% in terms of collection rate. So we have a 10% that we work with and come up with these programs to try and help them. And when the debt rehabilitation program closed, what we did, we introduced something else which we call a lesser down payment when you do an arrangement to bring your municipal account into a state, into a proper date. So we decreased that down payment by 10%. So if you owe us 100 rand, your down payment would be that 10 rands that you put forward. So it lessens the pressures from residents when they have to come through and make an arrangement for their debts to be sorted out.
And once these arrangements are made, you don't cut off people's services?
When the arrangement is in place and the consumer sticks to the arrangement, which would run for about 48 months, there will never be any credit control enforced.
Okay, Nthatisi Modingoane, thank you very much for your time. I just had to interrupt quite a bit just to get it moving because there's so much information, and I wanted to give Johannesburg residents a sense of those measures you've put in place to assist the battling ratepayers who are your customers in the city of gold. That was Nthatisi Modingoane. He's the Deputy Director of Communications from the city of Joburg.